Hi, my dear friends. Welcome to Hours of Alignment podcast again. Today, we are going to cover a very controversial and very intense topic, and I call this the seducing the silent. And I believe many times in our life, we have come across very challenging situation where, as men, over time, when we are well accomplished, and especially those men who have been single or probably still deciding between their ideal partner. And because I've been there in the season where there's a lot of options available, and when the you never know when the ego gets to the better of us, and we try to go for those kind of partners that we feel that are unattainable, challenging, highly desired by many men, and it seems like it becomes more like a prized possession that we want to acquire rather than a genuine partner that we really see that we are attracted to. And this topic, we call this seducing the siren or sirens, you may call it. Let me just share with you this story about Odysseus when he was tied down. He was lured by the siren song. But in the modern world, sirens aren't mystical. They are real. They show up in where? Online, in our inbox, on social medias, on dates, or probably in social settings, and you can feel the kind of magnetic of their availability and unavailability. Yeah. So it's like the game is on. There's this fishing tension. And today we are talking about why treat them and what it reveals not about them, but reveals more about ourselves. Why do we attract these kind of silence in our life, and how can we walk out of it untouched? And that's the key thing. Whatever our journey is right now, we want to grow, but never to backslide and lose ourselves in the pursuit of people, especially we thought was unattainable and we truly want them, that we lose ourselves in the pursuit of it. So let me just share with you some of the archetypes of the sirens, and what defines a siren. A siren is a lady who knows, unconsciously or consciously, knows how to push and pull the kind of attraction that she feeds you. At the same time, give you enough to take back so that you come asking for more. And usually, the kind of intimacy that is being created is a lot of emotional high. It's like, wow, wow, I never felt like this before with any other women. And the intimacy is masked as intensity, where there's also a little bit of like danger when you're with them. At the same time, it gives you the illusion of an escape from the reality. Sort of like she's gonna allure you, like, come, elope with me and take me into a new world. And that is very scary because there are men who fell into the trap of these kind of sirens, and they are willing to risk and lose it all just to so-called win them. And it is not just about a woman, the siren itself is an energy. It's the energy that we are drawn to by their inner chaos and wanting to go into that fire to walk out unburned. Or we see and feel that they reveal certain unresolved wounds that we want to go in and hence addicted to this kind of intensity. Or the key thing is this: not attracted to the intimacy, but addicted to the intensity. And that's how you can slowly identify the silence. So, of course, I share with you some of my personal stories that I have with the sirens. And when I was meeting these sirens some time back, And she will be giving this kind of feel that, oh, she needs help, but at the same time, she doesn't. And she's usually surrounded by a lot of men. And as you observe, unconsciously, you have already been caught up and observed that she's around. She will magnetically pull your unconsciousness to pay attention to her, while she is consciously attracting a lot of men to create the kind of pre-selection for you to feel that if you win her among so many other men, you will be the prize, or she is the prize. But in fact, actually, she wants you to be the prize so that she can have many trophies in her collection. And the fact is, the true siren knows how to play this seduction game with you, that you will feel that you are winning and seducing her. She lets you feel that you are winning and seducing her, where in fact the game is already orchestrated that you fall into her trap. And what makes her a siren is not just the beauty, because most of the time, as we may think, siren must be those ladies who are very well presented, very poised, elegant. They probably pay attention to their bodies and their outlook. Not necessarily true. It is the way that they create this kind of emotional pull that somehow, instead of attraction, you feel this kind of intensity being drawn to. And that's how the siren play their game, whether it is conscious or unconsciously. So the course itself, if you want to pursue these sirens, pay attention. You will only know when you are caught up in the game. Because it is very difficult for any man who has not gone through the cycle of the siren to imagine themselves, okay, look, I think I can be okay, I have my own frame, place. I I think I can handle. I think I should be able to. I know what I'm doing. And these are the pitfalls that the siren to attack our ego to make them blow out of proportion that they can handle. And if you do remember the story of the river crossing of the siren, the only way that you can get across the river without the allure of the song of the siren is through the plugging of your ears, not an utter sound of a song. Because no mortal man can resist the song of the siren and not fall into the river and drown. So for those who have been caught up in previous cycles of the siren before, or those who are right now being caught up in the cycle of a siren, and these sirens, fortunately or unfortunately, they could be someone that you are still seeing, someone you have not got into a relationship with, or they could be someone that you are already in a relationship with. So, what are the telltale signs that you are in the cycle of this siren allure? One, four key points you want to take note. One, as and when you will always feel that you're tired. And it's not the kind of physical tired that we're talking about. There's this emotional burnout that you always need to think one step ahead. What is next? How do I keep her attracted? How do I continue to keep her? And there's always this unconscious emotions that keeps burning and burning and burning that you are never able to settle and rest. Two, the self-doubt of our own identity. Who am I if I were to lose her? What would make me would it make me a failure if I spend so much time and invested in her and she makes me feel that I'm not good enough to keep her? And there's a challenge of our inner alignment and identity. There will be fragments of wow, am I good enough? What did I do wrong? Or have I made a mistake? And there will be a lot of identity crisis that's being compromised and fragmented in this relationship of the silent. And eventually, three, there'll be a lack of peace. I mean, we do know peace. We know the concept of peace. But the peace that has been compromised is this constant anxiety, the fear of not being able to sleep well, not knowing whether there's someone bigger, better, faster to 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 be getting her attention. And it makes it like it's our fault that we are not good enough to retain her attention. And it becomes like lack of peace, and self-esteem and trust for ourselves will be compromised. And eventually, every time when we get the attention of the siren, the chaos that was created and the chaos that subsides after that we mistook that subsiding chaos as a connection. Remember in the former POD Powers of Attraction days where we talk about seduction as a roller coaster. We create the roller coaster and we be there when she falls. Yes, that is the emotional roller coaster. But for someone, if you are in a relationship with a siren, she will be the one that's creating always this roller coaster for you. That whenever the coaster drops, that sense of mistaking subsiding chaos as connection. Because true connection requires peace and serenity. And what is the turning point here, my dear friends? And when you realize the fact that in powers of alignment, we do not need to seduce or be seduced anymore for our own internal alignment of frame. The fact that we choose, we can sense the adrenaline of having and getting versus solid inner alignment. Because that's where true grounded masculine energy is. The powers of alignment we talk about, we practice the inner alignment from within. And it is independent of how the siren or people on the outside determines how aligned we are in the inside. Because they are mirrors. As mentioned, the sirens, we are not here to learn about the siren, but they are here to show us a mirror of ourselves. Okay? So as we have the mirror of ourselves, we start to see how much more alignment work that needs to be done on the inside. And as we take time right now to pause, identify the sirens right now that is in your own life. Ground yourself with these questions. Are you being drawn to her? Or is it how she makes you feel about yourself? Is there what we call true love? Or is this just a pattern of the siren seduction? And the very easiest way to find out is, does the crashing of the chaos that's mistaken as connection, does it leave you more whole or hollow? And my dear friends, my closing message is this. There are many types of sirens out there, but we are not here to identify the different types of sirens. We are here to see that these sirens in our life, they are mirrors for us to reflect how much more alignment work that needs to be done. But having said that, a true powers of alignment man can walk into a relationship with a siren and still walk out grounded. But having said that, well, nobody wants to set up a fire and put out the fire just to prove that he's a great firefighter. But if there's a need arise, my dear friends, please pay attention to the message, because this message may save your identity and your groundedness in time to come. My closing message to you all is this: seducing the sirens can be thrilling until you really realize the wreckage that they leave behind. The real seduction, my dear friends, learning how to be captivated by our inner peace. To want what wouldn't destroy you and to see that the siren only had power because there's an egg inside you. Okay, with that, I have more topics to share. This is a very interesting topic. It was brought up by some of the friends who wanted us to discuss more about this topic. Having said that, your true alignment is within you, my dear friends. Until then, I'll see you at our next podcast.